Are you sitting on a fortune without even knowing it? In this video, we reveal the top rare coins that are worth thousands, even millions, of dollars in today's market. From rare mint errors to limited edition quarters, pennies, and nickels, these coins could change your financial future overnight. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that looks ordinary at first glance. A coin so small, so unassuming, that most people wouldn't even notice it in their pocket change. Yet, hidden in plain sight, this very coin could unlock a fortune that changes your life forever. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1957 Dewey penny, a coin that has captivated collectors across the United States and is commanding a staggering market value of $964,000. Yes, you heard that right, nearly $1 million for a single penny. And the story behind it is one you'll want to hear until the very end, because the details might just make you rethink what's sitting in your drawer, your jar of loose change, or even in that old family coin box gathering dust in the attic. But before we go deeper, let me ask you something. Have you ever passed on something that seemed worthless, only to realize later it was a missed opportunity? Kind of like ignoring that old penny on the sidewalk. Well, in this case, that penny could be your ticket to a new lifestyle, a lifestyle of freedom, wealth, and possibility. And if you think I'm exaggerating, just wait. The truth will shock you, and now, let's set the stage. The year is 1957. Dwight D. Eisenhower is in the White House, the post-war economy is booming, and the Denver Mint is producing millions of pennies with that small D mint mark. Most of these coins went into circulation and lived ordinary lives, passed from hand to hand in grocery stores, diners, and gas stations. But a tiny fraction of these pennies were struck with such precision, such rarity, or such unique conditions that today they stand apart as treasures worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And here's the thrilling part, those rare survivors still exist, and they're out there, waiting to be discovered. Now, here's where things get exciting. Imagine opening your coin jar and spotting a 1957 Dewey penny, still showing that iconic Lincoln bust on the front and the two wheat stalks on the reverse. The difference between a penny worth 1 cent and a penny worth almost 1 million lies in its condition, its strike, and those minute details that collectors obsess over. Coins graded at the highest levels, flawless surfaces, sharp designs, perfect luster, are the ones breaking records at auction houses today. And when I say auction houses, I'm not talking about small-town estate sales. I'm talking about prestigious rooms where bidders raise paddles and fortunes change hands in seconds. You might be wondering, why such high demand for what seems like an ordinary penny? That's the magic of rarity and desire. Collectors, investors, and enthusiasts crave these coins because they represent not just currency, but history frozen in time. They're tangible reminders of America's past, and owning one is like owning a piece of the nation itself. And when demand meets scarcity, prices soar. That's why this 1957 D penny is not just a collector's item, it's an asset, a status symbol, and a gateway into a world of wealth. Now, let me throw in a question that may catch you off guard. What if the penny you overlook today is the very one that could fund your dream home, your children's education, or even your retirement? Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But stories of everyday people finding rare coins worth fortunes are more common than you think. And here's the kicker, you could be next. That's why it's so important to check, to search, to never dismiss what might appear too ordinary, and here's where the cliffhanger comes in. You may think the 1957 D penny story ends with just condition and rarity, but there's one more factor that takes this coin into the realm of million-dollar legends. It has to do with an error, yes, minting errors that create coins so unique that no two are exactly alike. These anomalies are like fingerprints of history, and when they appear on a coin as old and beloved as the 1957 Dewey penny, collectors go wild. We'll uncover those details in just a moment, so stay with me, because this is where things get truly extraordinary. Picture this, a simple penny transformed into a once-in-a-lifetime windfall. Imagine the adrenaline of placing that coin in the hands of a professional grader, watching them confirm the impossible, and realizing that your life just changed forever. That is not a fantasy, it is happening right now to people across the country who dare to look closer, who dare to believe that their pocket change could be worth a fortune. And so, as we bring this journey full circle, remember that wealth isn't just about what you earn at your job or how you save in the bank. Sometimes, wealth is hidden in plain sight, in the coins, the keepsakes, the treasures you've already been handed by fate. The 1957 Dewey penny is proof of that truth, and today, with a market value of $964,000, it is calling collectors and dreamers alike to pay attention. So the question I leave you with is this: will you ignore the ordinary, or will you uncover the extraordinary? Because the next $1 million penny could be in your hand right now. Don't miss it. Don't wait. The time is now. Imagine walking into your attic, opening an old wooden box, and discovering a small, worn penny from 1958, only to find out that this single coin could be worth close to $1 million today. Sounds like a dream, right? But let me assure you, it's not just a dream. This is the story of the 1958 no-mint mark wheat penny, a coin that has not only captured the fascination of collectors across America but is now commanding astonishing prices in the current market, reaching as high as $976,000. The truth is, coins like this can change the course of someone's financial future overnight, and that's why it's vital you understand the power hiding in your pocket change. Because right now, people just like you are sitting on rare treasures without even realizing it. Now, let's pause here for a second. If you're thinking, it's just a penny, how could it possibly matter? Let me challenge that thought. The difference between an ordinary coin and one of these extraordinary finds is the same difference between a forgotten trinket and $1 million masterpiece. And in today's video, you're going to see why this specific coin is one of the most sought-after treasures in numismatic history. The 1958 wheat penny is legendary, not just because of its age but because of its remarkable rarity and the fascinating circumstances of its minting. Produced in Philadelphia, with no mint mark, this coin belongs to the final year of the iconic wheat design before the Lincoln Memorial reverse was introduced. Think about that, a final chapter of an American classic. Collectors crave it because it represents both history and transition, but here's where things get exciting. While millions of pennies were struck in 1958, only a microscopic fraction possessed the unique qualities that make them worth nearly $1 million today. And when I say microscopic, I mean we're talking about coins so rare that their very existence fuels a frenzy among serious collectors. High-grade examples, free of blemishes and preserved almost as if time stood still, can skyrocket in value. Now, let's address the elephant in the room: how does a simple 1-cent coin command such breathtaking value? The answer lies in scarcity, demand, and the emotional pull of history. Collectors aren't just buying metal, they're buying a story, a symbol, a slice of America frozen in copper. This is where the true wealth lies, in objects that spark imagination, ignite bidding wars, and inspire people to pay whatever it takes to own a piece of history. And just when you think the story couldn't get better, wait until you hear about how quickly these coins are disappearing into private collections. Once they're gone, they're gone. That's what's fueling the urgency. Because every day, someone else is cashing in while others are left wishing they hadn't ignored that old penny jar on their shelf. And now picture this. A family inherits an old coin collection from their grandfather. At first, they think it's nothing more than a sentimental keepsake. But tucked inside the collection sits a flawless 1958 no-mint mark wheat penny. After being appraised and auctioned, it sells for nearly $1 million. In one moment, their financial story is rewritten forever. That's the level of life-changing potential we are talking about here. And here's the cliffhanger. What if you already have one of these coins in your possession right now? What if the small penny hiding in a drawer, jar, or album in your home is quietly waiting to reveal itself as the ticket to generational wealth? This is where fear and excitement meet: the fear of missing out on a fortune, and the excitement of knowing that extraordinary wealth could be closer than you think. The demand for these coins is not just strong, it's fierce. Collectors worldwide are willing to pay staggering sums to own a 1958 no-mint mark wheat penny in top condition. The market is hot, the opportunities are rare, and the window of time is shrinking. Every day that passes, fewer of these treasures remain available. So here's what you must do: take action. Don't leave your potential fortune gathering dust. Examine your old coins. Get them appraised by trusted professionals. Because opportunities like this don't wait, they move quickly, and fortune favors the bold. As we close, remember this: wealth doesn't always come from where we expect it. Sometimes, it's hidden in the smallest things, a penny from 1958, for instance. But for those with vision, knowledge, and courage, that penny is more than money: it's freedom, legacy, and a chance to live life without limits. So, are you ready to discover your hidden treasure? Because your $1 million moment could be closer than you think. Imagine holding a single penny in your hand, something so ordinary that most of us don't even bother to pick it up off the ground. Now, picture that same penny being worth not just a few cents, not just a few $100s, but nearly $1 million today. Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But that's exactly the story behind the legendary 1958 Dewey penny, an unassuming coin minted in Denver that now carries a jaw-dropping value of $976,000 in today's market. And if you've got old jars, drawers, or forgotten boxes of coins lying around, you might be sitting on one of these treasures right now without even knowing it. The story of this coin is more than just about copper and mint marks. It's about how hidden wealth often disguises itself in the most ordinary of places. Act 1 begins with the humble beginnings of the wheat penny. The year is 1958, and America is booming. Eisenhower is president, Elvis is shaking up the nation, and the Denver Mint is producing what would be the very last series of wheat pennies before the iconic Lincoln Memorial design takes over. Millions of pennies were struck that year, but only a rare few carried traits so unique, so extraordinary, that collectors decades later would fight over them in auction houses, driving their value to unimaginable heights. Now, here's where the excitement starts to build. The 1958 Dewey penny isn't just rare, it's a symbol of opportunity. You see, error coins, die varieties, and misprints from that era have turned ordinary change into extraordinary fortunes. And here's the kicker, many of these coins went straight into circulation, passed from hand to hand for groceries, gas, and bubblegum. Which means, yes, brace yourself, it's entirely possible that one of these life-changing coins is still hiding in plain sight, tucked away in someone's coin jar, or maybe even buried deep in your attic. Can you imagine finding a penny that pays off your mortgage, wipes out your debts, and builds generational wealth all at once? But before we race ahead, let me reset your attention with a funny thought. Think about this, how many times have you ignored a penny on the sidewalk because it wasn't worth the effort? If you knew that tiny coin could buy you a mansion in Florida or a Rolls-Royce parked in your driveway, I bet you'd start crawling on the pavement with a magnifying glass, wouldn't you? That's the kind of shift in perspective the 1958 D penny forces us to make. What looks worthless at first glance could be priceless once you know what to look for, and that brings us to Act 2, the rising action, the turning point. The value of the 1958 Dewey penny didn't skyrocket overnight. For decades, collectors overlooked it. But as the coin collecting community grew, experts began identifying unique qualities in certain specimens: sharper strikes, doubled dies, pristine conditions that survived untouched for decades. Auction houses began buzzing, and bids soared higher and higher. Suddenly, what was once pocket change became a golden ticket. And here's where urgency comes in, the market for rare coins is hotter now than ever before. With collectors competing globally, values are climbing by the day. Every year, new record-breaking sales prove that these rare coins are not just collectibles, they're investments, assets that rival gold and real estate in return. So, what makes this penny worth $976,000 today? Here's the cliffhanger you've been waiting for. The secret lies in its scarcity and condition. While millions of 1958 Dewey pennies were minted, only an astonishingly small number survived in perfect, uncirculated form, coins that were never spent, never scratched, preserved in almost supernatural condition. Combine that rarity with collector demand, and you get a recipe for explosive value. And here's the question you're probably asking yourself right now: could you, sitting at home, unknowingly own one of these $1 million pennies? Stick with me until the end, because I'm about to tell you exactly what to look for and how to find out. Now, before we dive into Act 3, let me throw in another pattern interrupt to jolt your attention. Imagine explaining to your spouse that you can't go to dinner tonight because you're too busy examining pennies. Sounds ridiculous, right? But when that penny turns out to be worth almost $1 million, suddenly you're not crazy, you're brilliant. That's the beauty of this journey. Wealth doesn't always come dressed in fancy suits. Sometimes, it jingles in your pocket, which brings us to the final act, the resolution and the inspiration. The truth is, these coins are in extraordinarily high demand. Collectors, investors, even wealthy families looking to diversify their assets are paying premium prices for rare coins. The 1958 D penny isn't just a coin, it's a passport to financial freedom. And here's the empowering part: while not everyone will stumble upon $1 million penny, those who start searching, learning, and paying attention to the coins in circulation put themselves ahead of the crowd. Every rare coin discovered reshapes a life, turning ordinary people into extraordinary success stories. So, I'll leave you with this: the 1958 D-Wheat penny stands as a reminder that opportunity is often overlooked. Wealth hides in plain sight, waiting for those who are curious enough, bold enough, and wise enough to recognize it. And if you want to live a wealthy lifestyle, one that provides security, freedom, and abundance, then start looking closer at the small things. Because sometimes, a penny really can make you a millionaire. Now, don't just walk away inspired, take action. Check your coin jars, revisit those old collections, and see if the fortune you've been searching for is already in your hands. After all, the next story of the $1,000,000 penny could very well be yours. Imagine walking into your attic, opening an old wooden box, and discovering a small, worn penny from 1958, only to find out that this single coin could be worth close to $1,000,000 today. Sounds like a dream, right? But let me assure you, it's not just a dream. This is the story of the 1958 no-mint mark wheat penny, a coin that has not only captured the fascination of collectors across America but is now commanding astonishing prices in the current market, reaching as high as $976,000. The truth is, coins like this can change the course of someone's financial future overnight, and that's why it's vital you understand the power hiding in your pocket change. Because right now, people just like you are sitting on rare treasures without even realizing it. Now, let's pause here for a second. If you're thinking, it's just a penny, how could it possibly matter? Let me challenge that thought. The difference between an ordinary coin and one of these extraordinary finds is the same difference between a forgotten trinket and a $1,000,000 masterpiece. And in today's video, you're going to see why this specific coin is one of the most sought-after treasures in numismatic history. The 1958 wheat penny is legendary, not just because of its age but because of its remarkable rarity and the fascinating circumstances of its minting. Produced in Philadelphia, with no mint mark, this coin belongs to the final year of the iconic wheat design before the Lincoln Memorial reverse was introduced. Think about that, a final chapter of an American classic. Collectors crave it because it represents both history and transition, but here's where things get exciting. While millions of pennies were struck in 1958, only a microscopic fraction possessed the unique qualities that make them worth nearly $1,000,000 today. And when I say microscopic, I mean we're talking about coins so rare that their very existence fuels a frenzy among serious collectors. High-grade examples, free of blemishes and preserved almost as if time stood still, can skyrocket in value. Now, let's address the elephant in the room: how does a simple 1-cent coin command such breathtaking value? The answer lies in scarcity, demand, and the emotional pull of history. Collectors aren't just buying metal, they're buying a story, a symbol, a slice of America frozen in copper. This is where the true wealth lies, in objects that spark imagination, ignite bidding wars, and inspire people to pay whatever it takes to own a piece of history. And just when you think the story couldn't get better, wait until you hear about how quickly these coins are disappearing into private collections. Once they're gone, they're gone. That's what's fueling the urgency. Because every day, someone else is cashing in while others are left wishing they hadn't ignored that old penny jar on their shelf. And now picture this. A family inherits an old coin collection from their grandfather. At first, they think it's nothing more than a sentimental keepsake. But tucked inside the collection sits a flawless 1958 no-mint mark wheat penny. After being appraised and auctioned, it sells for nearly $1,000,000. In one moment, their financial story is rewritten forever. That's the level of life-changing potential we are talking about here, and here's the cliffhanger. What if you already have one of these coins in your possession right now? What if the small penny hiding in a drawer, jar, or album in your home is quietly waiting to reveal itself as the ticket to generational wealth? This is where fear and excitement meet: the fear of missing out on a fortune, and the excitement of knowing that extraordinary wealth could be closer than you think. The demand for these coins is not just strong, it's fierce. Collectors worldwide are willing to pay staggering sums to own a 1958 no-mint mark wheat penny in top condition. The market is hot, the opportunities are rare, and the window of time is shrinking. Every day that passes, fewer of these treasures remain available. So here's what you must do: take action. Don't leave your potential fortune gathering dust. Examine your old coins. Get them appraised by trusted professionals. Because opportunities like this don't wait, they move quickly, and fortune favors the bold. As we close, remember this: wealth doesn't always come from where we expect it. Sometimes, it's hidden in the smallest things, a penny from 1958, for instance. But for those with vision, knowledge, and courage, that penny is more than money, it's freedom, legacy, and a chance to live life without limits. So, are you ready to discover your hidden treasure? Because your $1,000,000 moment could be closer than you think. Imagine reaching into an old jar of pennies, the kind your grandparents might have left behind, and pulling out a coin so rare, so extraordinary, that it could completely transform your life overnight. Sounds unbelievable, right? But let me tell you this, the 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny has shocked collectors around the world with its jaw-dropping value. One of these very coins is currently commanding a market price of nearly $966,000, that's right, just shy of $1 million. For a single penny. Now, before you dismiss this as just another coin story, think about this: how many times have you brushed off the change in your pocket without giving it a second thought? What if the wealth you've been searching for has been sitting in your drawer all along? This isn't just a story about a coin. It's about opportunity, timing, and recognizing value where others see none. The 1941 wheat penny is not simply a collectible, it's a key that has opened the doors of wealth for a select few. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this coin is one of the most highly sought-after treasures in the United States, and how you might already own one without even realizing it. Let's rewind to 1941. America was on the brink of entering World War II, a time when every resource was valuable, and every detail mattered. Pennies struck in this era were meant for circulation, not for history books. But the no-mint mark 1941 wheat penny? That's where the story takes a dramatic turn. These coins were minted in Philadelphia without a mint mark, and while millions were made, very few survived in pristine condition. The rarity isn't just about survival, it's about perfection. Collectors are paying extraordinary amounts for coins that have stood the test of time without losing their original brilliance. Now, let's pause for a second. How many pennies have you passed through your hands today? 5? 10? Maybe more? Imagine if even one of those had the power to rewrite your financial future. Here's where fear comes in: people throw away fortunes every single day simply because they don't take the time to look. That jar of pennies in your kitchen? It could be worth more than your car, your house, or even your retirement account. And yet, most people never bother to check. Don't let that be you, but here's the exciting part. The coin collecting market is hotter than ever. With wealthy investors, collectors, and even celebrities driving demand, the competition to own a 1941 wheat penny in top condition has become fierce. Prices are soaring, and the market shows no signs of slowing down. This isn't just a hobby anymore, it's a wealth-building strategy. And the 1941 penny is right at the center of it. And by the way, quick question: why is it always the coins we ignore that turn out to be worth the most? The pennies, the nickels, the small change. It's almost like the universe has a sense of humor, hiding $1,000,000 treasures in plain sight while we focus on chasing bigger bills. And now, here's the cliffhanger you've been waiting for. What makes this coin worth nearly $1 million? It isn't just its age. It isn't just its condition. It's the perfect storm of rarity, demand, and history. The 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny represents more than money, it represents survival, resilience, and legacy. Owning one is like holding a piece of America's story, frozen in copper, that continues to grow in value year after year. And here's the urgent truth: these coins are disappearing from circulation at an alarming rate. Every time one is purchased at auction, it's gone into private collections, never to resurface again. That means fewer opportunities, higher demand, and skyrocketing prices. Waiting even a year could be the difference between spotting a life-changing coin in your collection or watching someone else cash in on it. So here's my challenge to you. The moment this video ends, I want you to dig through your drawers, your piggy banks, your coin jars, and your collections. Don't wait. Don't put it off. Because the opportunity to change your life might already be sitting right under your nose. Imagine the excitement of discovering your own 1941 wheat penny. Imagine calling your family into the room, showing them the coin, and knowing that you're holding nearly $1 million in the palm of your hand. That's not just money. That's freedom. That's security. That's the wealthy lifestyle you've always dreamed of. The 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny isn't just another coin, it's a golden ticket. And someone, somewhere, is going to find one today. The only question is, will it be you? Imagine holding a single penny in your hand, the kind you've seen 1,000 times, and realizing it could unlock a lifestyle of absolute freedom. Not just pocket change, but life-changing wealth. This is no ordinary coin. This is the legendary 1944 no-mint Mark Wheat penny, a coin that's shaking up the collector's world with current values soaring up to $963,000. Yes, you heard that right, almost $1 million for a single cent. Now, before you brush this off as just another collector's rumor, stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll see why people are desperately searching their drawers, basements, and jars for this one coin. And more importantly, you'll understand why you cannot afford to ignore this hidden treasure. But let me pause here for a second. What if, right now, in some forgotten jar on your kitchen counter, there's a penny worth more than your car, your house, maybe even your retirement account? Think about that. Exciting, isn't it? But also a little terrifying, because if you toss it away or spend it without knowing, you've lost your ticket to generational wealth. So what makes this 1944 wheat penny so rare, so valuable, and so unbelievably desirable? The year 1944 was a turning point for America. The world was at war, resources were scarce, and the U.S. Mint was under enormous pressure to produce billions of coins. Most pennies in 1944 were struck in copper, with no mint mark if they came from Philadelphia. But hidden among those billions were a few extraordinary errors and variations, coins that slipped through the cracks, surviving decades unnoticed, now emerging as treasures worth nearly $1 million. Here's the breathtaking truth. Collectors aren't just paying for a coin, they're paying for a story. A story of history, survival, and rarity. Each of these pennies represents a piece of America's wartime spirit, and when you hold one, you're not just holding a coin, you're holding legacy, scarcity, and massive financial potential. And that, my friend, is why demand is skyrocketing now. I know what you're thinking, how could a penny be worth more than a mansion? Well, let me put it this way, have you ever seen a baseball card or a painting sell for millions? It's not about the material, it's about the rarity, the desire, the prestige. The 1944 wheat penny with no mint mark is exactly that kind of masterpiece in the coin world. And the best part? It might be hiding in plain sight. Did you just glance over at your coin jar? Don't worry, you're not the only one. Millions of people are watching videos like this, hoping today is the day they discover their fortune. That little laugh you had just now? That's the nervous excitement every potential coin millionaire feels. Now here's where it gets thrilling. In today's market, collectors are fiercely competing, auction houses are buzzing, and private sales are breaking records. With a verified 1944 no-mint Mark Wheat penny valued at over $963,000, the urgency is real. Every month, new coins surface, and when they do, buyers leap at the chance to own them. The window of opportunity is closing, because as more are discovered, those who sit back and hesitate risk watching others walk away with the wealth. Here's the cliffhanger. Imagine finding one, holding it in your hand, your heart pounding with the realization that this single penny could pay off every debt, every mortgage, and open the door to the life you've always dreamed of. The fear of missing out here is powerful, but so is the excitement of being the one who acts. So ask yourself this, will you be the person who shrugs this off, thinking it's just another penny? Or will you be the one who checks, searches, and discovers a fortune that could completely transform your life? The truth is simple. The 1944 no-mint Mark Wheat penny isn't just a coin, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And right now, demand is at an all-time high. Collectors are waiting, the market is hot, and fortunes are being made. The only question left is, are you going to look closely enough to find yours? Because remember, wealth doesn't always come in stacks of cash or gold bars. Sometimes, it comes disguised as the smallest coin in your pocket. Imagine reaching into an old coin jar, the kind that's been sitting on your shelf for decades, and pulling out a small copper penny, ordinary at first glance. But what if I told you that this single penny, minted in 1952 at the Denver Mint, could be worth nearly $1 million today? Yes, a penny that once bought a piece of candy now has the power to buy you an entire luxury home. This is not just a story about coins, it's a story about hidden treasures, missed opportunities, and the kind of wealth that only the sharp-eyed collector discovers. And before you click away thinking, oh, I don't have anything like that, let me stop you. Because history shows that the most valuable coins are often sitting unnoticed in drawers, coin jars, and dusty collections across America. Could one of them be hiding in your home right now? Now, you might be asking yourself, how on earth can a penny be worth $983,000? Well, that's exactly the journey we're going on together. But I'll warn you now, by the end of this video, you'll never look at spare change the same way again. To understand the incredible value of the 1952 D-wheat penny, we need to step back into American history. The early 1950s were a time of transformation. The war had ended, prosperity was on the rise, and the United States Mint in Denver was churning out millions of Lincoln wheat cents. But within this flood of ordinary coins, a handful emerged with qualities so rare, so pristine, that today they are among the most sought-after treasures in the coin collecting world. What makes this penny extraordinary? Condition, rarity, and historical significance. Most pennies from that year circulated heavily, scratched and worn down by decades of use. But an untouched specimen, one that gleams with its original luster, becomes a miracle of survival. And when collectors see a coin like that, competition skyrockets. We're not talking about bidding wars for fun, we're talking about fierce battles where wealthy investors throw down 6 and even 7 figures to secure a single coin. And here's the twist: while million-dollar coins sound impossible, they often begin in the most ordinary places. One collector once admitted he found his fortune coin hidden in a box of old family belongings. Another claimed his discovery came from loose change at a flea market. The possibility alone should have your pulse racing. Think about it: how many times have you overlooked a penny, tossed it aside, thinking it was worthless? Today, that assumption could cost you nearly $1 million. Now let's pause for a second, because I know what you're thinking. I've probably had thousands of pennies pass through my hands. Did I just throw away my retirement fund? Don't panic yet. That's the fear every collector has, the fear of missing out. But here's the good news: opportunity is still alive. These coins are in circulation, hidden, waiting for the right eyes to recognize them. And those eyes might just be yours. Now here's where it gets exciting. As of today, the 1952 D-wheat penny in pristine, mint state condition carries a market value of an astounding $983,000. Let that sink in: almost $1 million for a coin you could mistake as pocket change. And demand is only increasing. The global collector's market is booming, and rare coins like this are no longer just collectibles, they're status symbols, investments, and legacies. Think about it: every millionaire collector today started with curiosity, the willingness to check their coins, and the boldness to believe in possibilities others ignored. The fear of missing out is real, but so is the excitement of discovery. Imagine telling your family you turned an old penny into generational wealth. Imagine the lifestyle change: a home upgrade, early retirement, or even funding your dream ventures, all because you took a second look at something everyone else overlooked. And if you're wondering, how do I even begin? The answer is simple. Start now. Go through your old jars, revisit the collections passed down from grandparents, look at every wheat penny closely. The 1952 D mint mark could be your golden ticket. And here's the cliffhanger you need to hear: what if I told you that the 1952 D isn't the only penny worth millions? Yes, this is just the beginning. There are other coins out there with values that will shock you even more. But that's a story we'll uncover in the next video. So don't just scroll past this moment. This is your wake-up call. Coins are more than spare change, they're hidden wealth, waiting for someone bold enough to discover them. The question is, will you be the one who finds the next $1 million penny, or will you let it slip through your fingers? Imagine for a moment reaching into an old jar of coins, perhaps one tucked away in your grandfather's study, and pulling out what seems like just another faded penny. But here's the shocking truth: that penny might not be worth 1 cent. It could be worth nearly $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny from 1952, with the tiniest mint mark stamped beneath the date, is now commanding prices as high as $943,000 in today's market. What if I told you that this very coin, this unassuming piece of copper, could be your ticket to a life of freedom, wealth, and opportunities most people only dream of? Before you dismiss it as impossible, stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why this coin is so rare, so powerful, and why the demand for it has reached unprecedented levels. And now, let me ask you, when was the last time you truly checked your pocket change or those coin rolls sitting in your drawer? Because the difference between an ordinary penny and a fortune isn't luck, it's knowledge. And in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to reveal that knowledge to you. The journey and discovery. The story of the 1952 sweet penny begins in San Francisco, during a time when the U.S. Mint produced hundreds of millions of coins to fuel a post-war economy. But among those coins, a small fraction carried microscopic differences, subtle errors, unusual die strikes, and rare minting qualities that went unnoticed by the average eye. Collectors call these hidden treasures, and they are now changing lives. Think about it: how many people have casually spent one of these pennies at a gas station or left it in a jar, completely unaware that they just let go of a small fortune? It's almost chilling to imagine. Yet this is where opportunity lies. And here's the twist: most people believe rare coins only sit inside museums or behind glass displays at elite auctions. But history proves otherwise. The greatest finds often come from everyday households, tucked away for decades, only to be rediscovered by someone bold enough to look closely. And now, let's pause for a second, because if you're sitting there wondering, why would anyone pay nearly $1 million for a penny? That's exactly the right question. The answer is prestige, rarity, and the undeniable thrill of owning a piece of history that no one else has. Wealthy collectors across the United States are fighting for these coins, driving demand and prices through the roof. And here's the exciting part: the rarer the coin, the higher the stakes. That's why the 1952 sweet penny is now among the most sought-after treasures in the numismatic world. But don't think this story ends here. Because the real question is, what makes one 1952 penny worth a cent, while another is valued at nearly $1 million? That secret is what we'll uncover next. Here's the cliffhanger you've been waiting for: not every 1952 penny carries this staggering value. The $1 million versions are often coins preserved in pristine condition, what collectors call mint state. Imagine a coin struck so sharply, so perfectly, that after 70 years it still gleams with its original luster. Add to that rare die variations, and you have the ultimate recipe for wealth. When one of these coins surfaces, auction houses go wild, bidding wars erupt, and collectors are willing to pay nearly anything to claim ownership. And here's the undeniable truth: right now, demand is skyrocketing. With more Americans waking up to the hidden value of old coins, the competition to find and sell these treasures has never been fiercer. The opportunity window is open, but it won't stay open forever. So, I'll ask you again: when was the last time you checked your coins? Because that dusty jar in your kitchen, that old box passed down from your parents, or that handful of pennies at the bottom of your car could be holding one of the rarest, most valuable coins in American history. Imagine the thrill of discovering that you are sitting on $943,000 or more. What would you do with that kind of money? Pay off every debt? Travel the world? Secure your family's future? This isn't just about coins, it's about possibility, about wealth hidden in plain sight, about the courage to look closer. If you're ready to step into the world of rare coin collecting and selling, now is the time. Because while most people overlook the pennies in their pockets, a few will uncover life-changing fortunes. And the question is, will you be one of them? Stay inspired, stay alert, and remember, the next $1 million treasure could already be in your hands. In a world where most people glance at a penny and dismiss it as nothing more than spare change, there exists a hidden treasure that could transform an ordinary life into a story of wealth and legacy. Imagine holding in your hands a simple copper coin, minted in 1954 at the Denver Mint, with a small D mark beneath the date. At first glance, it looks just like any other wheat penny you've seen rolling around in drawers or tucked away in old jars. But what if I told you that this very coin, the 1954 wheat penny, is not just a relic of history, it's a financial powerhouse worth nearly $1 million in today's market? Yes, you heard that right. This humble 1-cent piece is valued at $953,000. And today, I'm going to show you exactly why this coin is in such extraordinary demand, and how knowing its secrets could position you to unlock life-changing wealth. Now let's pause for a second. How many times have you walked past a penny on the ground and never bothered to pick it up? We've all done it. But here's the twist: what if the coin you just ignored could have been your ticket to an estate on the beach, a brand new luxury car, or the financial freedom to retire early? Sounds crazy, doesn't it? But that's exactly what makes this story so compelling. And stick with me until the very end, because the final details I'm going to reveal about this coin will change the way you look at every single piece of change in your possession. To understand the true power of the 1954 wheat penny, we have to take a journey back in time. Picture America in the early 1950s, post-war prosperity, booming industries, and coins still being struck in pure copper. The wheat penny was the coin of the people, used in everyday life from gas stations to grocery stores. But hidden within the millions produced, a select few were struck with such rarity, such exceptional condition, and such historical significance, that collectors today are willing to pay astronomical sums for them. The Denver Mint, marked by that small d, played a role in creating some of the finest examples of this series. And while to most people it looked like just another coin in circulation, today's collectors know better. But here's the moment you need to pay attention, because not every 1954 D penny is worth millions. The real fortune lies in the extraordinary examples, coins with near-perfect preservation, blazing red luster, and absolutely no sign of wear. These coins, tucked away unknowingly by sharp-eyed collectors decades ago, now trade hands for prices that rival luxury estates and supercars. The demand is so strong that a single auction can ignite a bidding war, driving prices sky-high. And let me ask you, what do you think happens when multiple collectors, each with deep pockets, fight to claim ownership of a coin so rare? That's right, the value climbs even higher, leaving ordinary onlookers stunned by the final hammer price. Now, here's where the excitement truly builds. Imagine discovering that you, yes you, might have one of these gems sitting quietly in your collection. Think about the impact: paying off debts overnight, securing your children's education, or living the kind of lifestyle most only dream about. It's not a fantasy, it's happening right now, and the 1954 Dewey penny is at the center of it. But let's reset for a second, because I know what you're thinking. You're probably saying, come on, how can a penny be worth nearly $1 million? And I get it, the skepticism is natural. But the truth lies in one word: scarcity. When a coin of this age, with such flawless quality, enters the market, scarcity meets desire. And when scarcity and desire collide, prices explode. Here's the cliffhanger you've been waiting for: the story doesn't end with just rarity. There's a hidden detail, one that makes the 1954 D penny even more legendary. Certain error strikes, misalignments, and doubled die variations from this year are whispered about in the coin community like legends passed down through generations. And the collectors who discover these hidden traits are rewarded beyond belief. Could your penny hold one of these secrets? You'll never look at a coin the same way again. Let's transition to why the timing matters right now. The rare coin market is not slowing down, it's heating up. Collectors, investors, even financial institutions are looking to tangible assets as safe havens of wealth. And in a time when uncertainty grips markets, the appeal of holding something rare, beautiful, and historically significant grows stronger every single day. The 1954 Dewey penny isn't just a coin, it's a symbol of security, prestige, and opportunity. And those who recognize its value are positioning themselves for generational wealth. So, let me ask you this: if you had the chance to hold $1 million asset in the palm of your hand, would you let it slip away? Or would you seize the opportunity before it disappears into another collector's vault, never to be seen again? The window is narrow, the demand is soaring, and fortunes are being made at this very moment. And here's the final twist: the moment you've been waiting for. That unassuming jar of pennies in your attic, the forgotten rolls stored in your family's old wooden box, could contain the very coin that changes everything for you. This is not about pennies anymore, this is about possibility, about rewriting your financial story with something most people overlook. So the next time you see a 1954 Dewey penny, don't dismiss it. Don't overlook it. Because hidden within its copper surface could be your ticket to wealth, prestige, and freedom. The kind of wealth that turns ordinary lives into extraordinary legacies. Remember, it's not just a coin. It's an opportunity, and opportunities like this don't come twice. Stay inspired, stay curious, and most importantly, take action. Because the 1954 Dewey penny is more than history, it's your future, waiting to be claimed. Imagine this for a moment: you're holding in your hand a small copper coin, so ordinary in appearance that most people would toss it aside as pocket change. But what if I told you that one such coin, the 1957 no-mint Mark wheat penny, could be worth nearly $1 million today? Yes, a single penny valued at $963,000 in today's market. Stay with me, because over the next few minutes, you're going to discover not just the story of this coin, but the extraordinary wealth-building opportunities hidden inside rare pennies that could transform ordinary lives into tales of prosperity. Let's begin at the start of Act 1. The 1957 wheat penny might seem simple, yet it represents a slice of America's post-war history. Struck in Philadelphia without a mint mark, it was a coin of the people, circulating in millions. But here's the twist: in that ocean of copper, only a handful possess the rare qualities, minting quirks, and collectors' demand that elevate their value into staggering fortunes. Think about it, something so small that fits in your palm, becoming a bridge to wealth. And let's be honest, who among us hasn't dreamed of discovering hidden treasure, something the world overlooked? That dream is exactly what fuels the fire in today's collectors and investors. Now, Act 2 takes us deeper, and this is where it gets exciting. The market value of a pristine, no-mint mark 1957 wheat penny has soared to an astonishing $963,000. Why? Because collectors, wealthy investors, and even financial institutions are chasing pieces of American history that cannot be replicated. Remember, supply is permanently capped. No one can mint another 1957 wheat penny. That scarcity, coupled with perfect preservation, ignites demand like wildfire. Here's a question for you: if a penny you once dismissed could change your financial destiny, how many times have you unknowingly let opportunity slip through your fingers? And just to break the tension, don't worry, I'm not suggesting you raid your couch cushions, but maybe don't ignore them either. But let's pause here with a little cliffhanger. Because while the headline value of $963,000 is jaw-dropping, what's even more intriguing is why this coin in particular continues to skyrocket in demand among serious buyers. Is it simply rarity? Or is there something more powerful, more emotional driving this surge? Hold that thought, because the answer reveals why owning or selling such a coin could open doors to the kind of lifestyle most only imagine. Now Act 3. This is the transformation point. For those who hold coins like the 1957 wheat penny, the choice becomes clear. Either cling to it as a legacy piece, an heirloom that whispers stories of America's golden age, or step forward and leverage its immense value to unlock wealth, security, and freedom. Imagine converting a single copper penny into nearly $1 million. Think of the doors it opens: new homes, financial independence, generational wealth. The truth is, the wealthy don't chase money, they identify value others overlook. And rare coins are one of the purest examples of overlooked wealth in plain sight, but here's where the urgency comes in. The demand is accelerating. With more collectors, hedge funds, and even celebrities entering the rare coin market, opportunities to cash in at peak value won't last forever. Today, the 1957 no-mint mark wheat penny is commanding $963,000. Tomorrow, the price could climb even higher, or the chance to sell at its zenith could slip away. The real fear is not missing out on a coin like this, it's owning one and failing to act while the market burns hot. And now, let me reset your attention with a quick smile, because it's kind of ironic, isn't it? People spend their lives chasing pennies they drop on the floor, but the wealthiest among us are chasing the pennies you never looked twice at. Funny how fortune hides in plain sight. As we close, let me leave you with this thought: wealth is not always built by hard labor or long hours. Sometimes, it's built by awareness, timing, and the courage to seize an opportunity. The 1957 wheat penny is not just a coin, it's a symbol of what happens when history, rarity, and demand collide. It's proof that life-changing value can lie in the smallest details. So the question is, will you recognize the treasure in your hands before someone else does? Stay inspired, stay curious, and remember, the next coin you find could be your ticket to the millionaire lifestyle.